Hello indie game fans, bumper crop of new indie game releases this week, so without further ado, the top 10 best indie games of the week starts with Under Night in Birth EXE Late CL-R. Now this is technically not exactly a new game, but rather is the third major update and enhancement for this anime fighter, first released in arcades in 2012. Now the reason that I picked this is that developer Fringe Bread is actually quite a small team of 13 people as of March 2018, and their story is pretty inspirational in itself. This game makes the main stage of EVO this year after a wave of fan support, and even attracted Arc System Works to work with them on this. So as much as we love celebrating small teams and games here, we do also want to highlight games that broke through into somewhat of a mainstream capacity.
Under Night in Birth Accelerate Clear.
Commander, I'm picking up high levels of signal decay in the area. The jammers must be close. Commander, have your units locate and disable the master terminal. If your units can access this, it will deactivate all the jamming towers connected to it.
Attention all NAC units. We've had reports that there are some very dangerous individuals honing in on your position. Be warned. They can appear almost invisible to the naked eye. They're ruthless, precise, and will pick you off one by one.
Spread out. Shock and awe.
This one was a very pleasant surprise since Corruption 2029 was only announced about 2 weeks ago, and boom, here it is, out and released. This is from the developers of the excellent Mutant Year Zero, and in a similar vein is a turn-based tactics game with a focus on the setup and stealth.
They're efficient killers.
However, rather than playing as mutants in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, you instead play as a squad of heavily armed soldiers infiltrating a regime to find the source of the corruption that has led to America becoming a wasteland. So perhaps not all that different, hence the quick turnaround. Still pretty early in the year, but a good candidate for a great tactics game. As I was making that video on the best upcoming roguelike titles, I got a pleasant surprise that Adore was releasing in early access quite soon, and here it is this week. This is an action-adventure roguelite where you are able to summon creature companions, leading to quite the intense and interesting combat system. Fight against a curse that is sapping the strength from Dragnar, god of the creatures, as you are appointed as the chosen one to find out and stop the source of this conspiracy. Of course, the creatures are central to the whole game with some interesting systems of their own. Firstly, the creatures themselves are not disposable and are bonded to your character's life force, meaning that you will lose some health if they get killed. There is a synergy system which activates bonuses if you have different types of creatures, and each individual creature also has a special ability that can be life-saving. Looks pretty slick, and I'm all in on this.
The bad weather crossing Montana is amassing all the characteristics of an atypical storm.
Great walking simulators are difficult to come by, so the suicide of Rachel Foster could potentially be of interest. Explore this hauntingly dark family history as you return to your family hotel 10 years after leaving. Of course, the weather turns for the worse and you are trapped in the hotel and have to uncover the deeper mystery while you are there. Of course, this deals with some pretty heavy themes, so content warning and all that, but if you love narrative thrillers, this should be worth experiencing.
I left this place 10 years ago. I had no idea I would have to come back here.
The storm is dying down. You'll be able to leave soon and go back to your life.
The day that the body was discovered, she was 9 weeks pregnant. Who is this? I need to keep looking. You think he did this?
It all sounds insane. This is sick. This is a... Nicole, get out of there.
The very stark and creepy world of horror definitely got my attention with the one-bit black and white art style, paying homage to both Junji Ito and Lovecraft, being set in a small seaside Japanese town where the old gods are beginning to reawaken. Now, I'm a big pansy, so horror is never my thing, especially how disgusting and grotesque some of the Junji Ito drawings are, but unfortunately, I'm morbidly curious about this since this is a roguelite RPG in structure. This really is quite the curiosity that I'm intrigued by, and hopefully this wouldn't kill the proverbial cat. Just a quick note, if you are new here and enjoyed the video so far, be sure to subscribe and check out the Discord channel while you are at it. Here's to more indie gaming coverage, so back to the video. The developer of TAUR reached out to me in an email, and having seen the trailer, immediately got me on board. This is an action defense game where you control the Prime Tower and can build turrets, droids, ships and more as you seek to protect your homeworld from the relentless Imperial war machine. There is an overworld strategic layer where you defend and control resource-producing regions, upgrade your weapons, and research new technologies in between battle, with the ultimate goal of destroying the powerful Imperial overlord in battle. The low poly art, surprisingly, is not all that chill in this case, with a bunch of lasers and projectiles flying around, but impressive number of units on screen, which makes this seem pretty epic.
Lemon, spice, and human eyes. These were the ingredients chosen to make the perfect little Grim.
You are the Grim Reaper. You are Death. Welcome to your new job as Grim Reaper number 101.
As the saying goes, in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. You play as a newly appointed Grim Reaper, assigned number 101. However, rather than wielding a cool scythe and going around scaring people, you instead have an office job where you can decide who lives and who dies. This is a narrative adventure game along the lines of Papers, Please, but with arguably a more interesting premise, since your choices on who dies does have an effect on the world. Pretty sweet hand-drawn art style as well, and it certainly looks promising. As I've read up more on the gaming industry, I'm a little hesitant to cover games by WayForward, since they are technically quite a large studio which does a lot of contracting work. But I believe that smaller indie-sized teams work on individual projects, and their latest release is Vitamin Connection. This is a Switch-only co-op action game where you play as vitamins having to combat bacteria. It is bright, colourful, whimsical and wholesome, with a very Cartoon Network looking art style, and seems like quite a great co-op experience. Developer Size 5 Games made some interesting titles such as Time Gentleman Please, Been There, Then That, The Swindle, and Behold the Kickman, and their latest title is LAIR of the Clockwork God, where Ben and Dan come up yet again, and is a platformer adventure game hybrid. It is a race against time? Not really, as you race to stop all the apocalypses from happening simultaneously. Love the art style, and based on the pedigree, this should be pretty good, so excited to dive in. What can be said about Skul, the Hero Slayer, that hasn't already been said? Ever since I first came across this, I appreciated the high-bit pixel art, the roguelite platformer design, and the flipping of conventional roles, since you play as a skeleton taking on the humans. You gain new abilities by wearing the skulls of your enemies, of which there are 20 in the launch version, from an archer, samurai, death knight, grim reaper and more, with over 50 different items, enemies, mini-bosses and final bosses as well. This will launch with 3 of the main chapters, with the final to be added through early access, planned for 1.0 in 2020 itself, so it should already be quite a complete feeling product, but as a fan of the genre, this takes the #1 spot for me. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share and subscribe, check out the recommended playlist or the best pick for you, and I will see you after the jump.